2 months and 11 days today. Uh, I I keep getting asked the same questions when people see me. People ask me if how am I doing? Uh, People ask, how are you holding up? Or are you doing better? And honestly, it just doesn't seem right. It feels like something's wrong. The only thing that I can cling on is God's word at this moment, because if I don't have God, I don't have anything. My hope and my faith is in God. So it's been over 2 months now, and I recorded earlier this week, and I told everybody, how that I didn't know what was going on with my emotions. I was all over the place. It was a very emotional week for me. I'm not gonna lie. It was it was a difficult week, and this weekend I thank God that I was able to put my emotions aside and enjoy my time with my kids, and just spend time with them, love on them. There's a saying that I heard this week. Pain blurs your perception of reality. So pain blurs your perception of reality. What does that mean? When you're in pain, it literally feels like a fog. It feels like I'm going to wake up any moment now. And I know it's crazy because it's been 2 months that I've been feeling this way. And I'm doing day by day. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Angel and I. In the past, we met in Brooklyn, and actually we met in Manhattan, and our church was in Brooklyn at that time. And we were both raised in church. However, we weren't following God's ways. We were doing our own thing. We were serving God, but not wholeheartedly. Angel and I started dating, and shortly after we started dating, I came out pregnant. I believe that coming out pregnant was not a mistake. There's no mistakes in God. My son was meant to be my son. But I believe God used that to allow me to open my eyes and realize my priorities and what am I going to do for my future. How do I want to raise my children? How do I want to live my life? After I found that I was pregnant, Angel and I decided to get married, and we tried our best to keep in God's path. It was a rude awakening for me. Before that, I had a little rebellious streak in me, and my son was the best blessing that I ever got, aside from my husband and my second son. He opened my eyes to see what love is. He opened my eyes to to be a mom, and that was the best thing that had ever happened to me. Somebody asked me this week, someone asked me, how how do I feel talking about my past? Like, what goes on inside of me when I talk about my past? And honestly, talking about my past is part of me. Um, Angel is part of me, and although he's gone, he will forever remain part of me. And because of him, I am who I am today. Because of the man that he was with me, because of the way we grew. We grew up together, basically. We were more than half of our lives with each other. And I would have done it all again. Yes, I would have. Talking about Angel, it's a remembrance of how much I love him and all the good. All the good. We had great moments, and with the great moments, there were some bad moments as well. I truly 100% know that God doesn't make a mistake, and I believe that God put Angel and I together. When Angel and I started dating, he will always tell me, "You're the woman that God sent for me to marry." And I would constantly be like, that's a good pickup line, you know? In all reality, I was the woman that God sent for him to marry. And I know that he knew that. Through the good and the bad, no matter what, we always got it right. We always opened our eyes and realized that we have to have God first, and then everything else will fall into place. We had a lot of difficult moments. I was very hot-headed, and I was very disrespectful with him many times. And I do believe in the perception of love and respect, you know, me respecting him and him loving me. And it's not about, oh, you know, I'm being a punk or I'm letting him walk all over me. No, it's about respect. And it took me years to learn how to treat him as my husband, as the head of my home, as opposed to as another kid or another person that I'm making sure that they're doing right, you know? And if I want to leave a message to someone, is for couples that are recently starting, get it right with each other. Treat them with respect above all, and he will treat you with love. Love your wife. Love her as Christ loved the church, as Christ loved us, that he will give his life for us. He gave his life for us. When you respect the head of the household, everything falls into place. Of course, a lot of times, you know, we're like, well, what do you mean respect him? Whatever. Even the way you speak is not what you say, is how you say it. Are you speaking down to them? Are you speaking down to him? Are you always responding with an attitude? That's one thing that it's great with respect, because you respect your boss, you respect authority, you know, and you wouldn't talk to them with an attitude. But your husband, you treat as a child and you talk to them and snap at them every moment that you get, when you should be treating them with love and respect, and he will treat you with love and respect as well. Another thing is that we always used to say, I always used to say, well, he ain't loving me, so I ain't gonna respect him. or he ain't treating me the way I want to be treated, so I'm not going to treat him the way he wants to be treated or the way he should be treated. But in reality, who are you damaging? Why are you wasting your time? Why? What's the purpose behind that? What's the purpose behind acting that way? It's not going to benefit anybody. And honestly, for couples, I got it wrong for many years, and I still have my faults. Of course, we're all human and we make mistakes, but it's never too late to fix it. It's never too late. Another thing is for the spouse that's standing. If you are standing for your marriage, you're not getting the love or the respect from them, and I understand that. I know, because I was there. And that's all that you really want, is the love and respect from the person that you're with, the person that you're fighting for. And in all reality, all you can do is believe and trust God, and believe and trust that God will give you the wisdom on how to deal with him or her. I used to pray over Angel when him and I was separated. I used to pray over him, and I would pray over his soul. I would pray that, and I would always tell him, get it right with God. It's not about me, it's not about us. Get it right with God, and then everything else will fall into place. Because I knew that God had a purpose for us together. And do I believe that Angel could have lasted longer? I do believe that. However, God knows everything. God is the author and finisher of our faith, and he knows everything. He knows what our thoughts are. He knows the future. And I always tell God, if I'm ever going to leave you, just take me before I go, because my soul is all that matters. And I believe that God saved Angel and took him because all that matters was his soul. And it's sad to think of. Hard to believe that God has everything in control. It's difficult when we prayed for Angel's healing, and we believed that God was going to heal him. I had no idea that he was going to die. I had no idea. That's the last thing that we thought. I know that the last moments I did pray with him, and I know that if I could have done it all again from the 21 years that we were together, knowing what I know today, I would have prevented so many stupid arguments and so many dumb fights, so many disrespectful ways that I would talk to him, and so many dumb things that I would say talking down to him. It makes no sense. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. It's a waste. It's a waste for you to think that you're going to treat them bad because they're treating you bad, or all you're doing is damaging your relationship. That's all you're doing. The reason why I talk about everything the way I do is to remember the good and forget the bad. To remember that although there was bad moments, and Angel and I were on the verge of getting a divorce a couple of times in our marriage, the good behind that is that God had put that tenacity in me to stand for my marriage. And I refused to take to take a no for an answer. I refused to hear the words that everybody around me was saying, including him. And I was leaning on God's word. And for you, as the standing husband or wife, I tell you today, make your ears deaf unto everybody else. Like everything and everyone around you, make your ears like you don't even hear them. It's easy to get persuaded by what people say, and it's easy to put your own pride ahead of everything and say, well, I deserve better than that, and I'm not gonna humble myself. If God put that desire in your heart to save your marriage, it's not that you're humbling yourself, it's that you're believing his word, and you're taking everything from the flesh and putting it aside and focusing on the spirit, focusing on what God has for you. And now I talk about this as if Angel was still around, because it was a big part in my life. A big part in our relationship was how much I believed God's promises for us, how much I stood strong for his word over us. And I know that, sometimes we tend to lose focus, and we tend to allow our flesh to guide us, and we don't consult God. We just say, well, whatever, but in all reality, you will fail. You will definitely fail if you do not consult God, if you do not put God in the midst of your relationship, in the midst of who you guys are and what God has promised for both of you. I talk about it because I believe that God allowed me to go through that, and Angel and I to go through that, so that we can help others, and we can give words of wisdom and encouragement and strategies, and what I did to stand firm for my marriage, and how I believed God's word. And that's the utmost thing that you need to do as a believing spouse, as a standing spouse, is stand on God's word and believe it. Believe it. God doesn't make mistakes. Believe God's word and trust that he will restore. He will restore. And the most important thing within your marriage is to find your relationship with God. If you are standing for your spouse, find God in the midst of it. Praying, God, please, restore my marriage. Yes, but have a relationship with God. Ask God to speak to you. Ask God to guide you. Ask God to open your eyes to see what it is that you need to improve on. Because a relationship takes two. And if you're praying to God for your spouse, then you have to pray to God above all for yourself, for your sanity, for your mind, for your heart, for strength and wisdom on how to handle situations, on how to respond. One just have to be true and genuine. If you are treating your spouse right, just because you want them to come back home, or because you want them to treat you with love, so you're doing it with expecting something, it's not gonna work, and you're gonna fall back into your old ways. So be genuine with the love that you show, and ask God to allow you to continue to be that person, to be the sweet, lovable person that you're feeling to show towards your spouse. that the love of God may shine through you. And I really wish that Angel was sitting next to me now to be able to give some words of wisdom as well. It's all so surreal. I still can't believe that he's gone, and it's been a little over 2 months. I don't even want to start thinking about the future. I don't even want to start imagining how the future will be. Well, that was my little rant for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also share. Feel free to share this video. I believe if you're listening to it, it's because you're meant to hear it. It's because the word is as a double-edged sword. And as I went through the situations, I'm paving a way for someone else to go through it as well. God bless everybody. Have a wonderful day, and until next time.